It's the Unforgotten Project. I'm D. Ellis. This channel focuses only on missing children cases. If you want to help out, you can like, share, comment, and subscribe. It's free. Who knows who you might save? This is educational purposes only. Educational purposes only. Condolences to the family and friends of these cases. Let's dive right into this case. April 6, 1986. The small town of Gallup, New Mexico, located on top of the edge of Navajo Nation, is shaken by a quiet, devastating event that would echo through the true crime stories for decades. It is the disappearance of a little girl known as Squirrel by her family. Anthonette Cayedito was just 9 years old. She was biracial and she was of Navajo and Italian descent, with striking brown eyes, dark hair, and a maturity that was far exceeded for her young years. Because her mother, Penny, was often out working late at local bars, she took on the parental role. She cooked, she ironed, and cared for her younger sisters, Wendy and Sadie. She was an exceptional student, a Presidential Fitness Award winner, and a devoted Bible study attendee. But all of that changed in the early morning hours of April 6th. On the night of Saturday, April 5th, Penny left her three daughters in the care of a babysitter while she went out with friends. She returned home around midnight, dismissed the babysitter, and she would go to bed. Everything, seemed normal. But approximately at 3 a.m., the girls would be awakened by a frantic knocking at the front door. Anthonette got out of bed and went to answer the door. According to her younger sister Sadie, who witnessed the horrifying ordeal from the shadows, an unidentified man was standing on the other side. The man claimed to be Uncle Joe. When Anthonette opened up the door, the man grabbed her, violently shoved her into the waiting vehicle, and sped off into the desert night. Sadie, paralyzed with fear, watched her sister disappear. When Penny awoke at 7 a.m. to take the girls to Bible school, she discovered Anthonette's bed was empty. Frantic, the family searched door to door, but the worst fears was confirmed. The Gallup PD and the FBI were called in, treating the case as a suspected abduction. A massive 3-day search of the surrounding foothills was conducted, utilizing search dogs and local volunteers, but they found absolutely no trace of Anthonette. No footprints, no clothing, no clues. As the initial days turned into weeks, the investigation into her disappearance uncovered a web of disturbing details about the Cayedito household. Witnesses included family members would later report that a man named Emilio, also known as Emo Gardella, had been heavily grooming Anthonette in the days leading up to her disappearance. Emo frequently gave the 9-year-old girl flowers and a specific silver necklace. Investigators learned that Penny Cayedito knew of this behavior but initially failed to mention it to the police until family members intervened.
It's just
36 years later, that heartbreak still as raw as it was all those years ago.
It's hard not knowing the point of no closure. What happened? Where did she go?
Sadie Acevedo was 7 when her older sister, Anthonette Cayedito, went missing from their home in Gallup. It was April 6, 1986.
My mom was getting ready to go out. They were going out for the night.
Sadie, Anthonette, and their youngest sister went to bed, and when they woke up, Anthonette was gone.
We went knocking door to door in our pajamas. She said she couldn't find Anthonette. We were getting ready for church. It was a Sunday morning.
Anthonette was 9 at the time and was wearing a pink nightgown.
The mama's narrative of the evening continued to shift. Years later, the FBI obtained statements from Penny that strongly suggested she may have been involved in the night's events. In these statements, Penny confessed to drinking heavily with Emiliano and another man named Ronald Perry. During this gathering, the man allegedly discussed taking her daughter off her hands. While Penny claimed she didn't want to be present when Anthonette was taken, the dark reality of human trafficking, grooming, and maternal complicity cast a long, ugly shadow over this investigation. For over a year, the trail went completely cold. The community prayed for her safe return, and her mother maintained a shrine in their apartment with the necklace Emilio had given her and an open Bible. But then a bizarre and chilling event occurred that reignited the investigation and proved to authorities that Anthonette might still be alive. In 1987, the Gallup Police Department received a distressed phone call. A young girl on the other end of the line was crying, stating her name over and over again, Anthonette Cayedito, Anthonette Cayedito. She frantically told her dispatcher that she was in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Before she could provide any more details, an unknown, angry adult male voice can be heard yelling, "Who said you could use the phone?" The line abruptly went dead as the sound of a terrified scream filled the receiver. Investigators immediately traced the phone call, but it yielded no solid results. While they were unable to pinpoint the exact location, the call provided a massive, all but terrifying clue. Anthonette was alive at least a year after her disappearance. The scream and the male voice confirmed to law enforcement that she was likely being held against her will, potentially by a trafficking ring or a network operating across the Southwest. For years after the kidnapping, another compelling clue emerged, this time hundreds of miles away in Carson City, Nevada. In the spring of 1991, a waiter at a local restaurant noticed a young preteen girl dining with an unkept couple who looked highly suspicious. The girl's behavior was strange. She kept dropping her fork on the floor. Each time the waiter bent down to pick it up, the girl desperately squeezed his hand. After the group paid and left the restaurant, the waiter returned to clear the table. Under the girl's plate, he found a crumpled up napkin. Scrawled on it were the words, "Help me, call police." The waiter immediately alerted the authorities, but by the time police arrived, the group had vanished into the stream of the highway traffic. Investigators compared the girl's description to Anthonette's case, noting similarities in appearance, but they were ultimately never able to confirm if it was her. Theories began to emerge that Anthonette was being transported across state lines by truck drivers or a traveling criminal enterprise. The "Help Me" napkin and the harrowing 911 call remain two of the most frustrating yet hopeful pieces of evidence in the Cayedito file. They are stark reminders that Anthonette did not simply vanish into thin air. She was out there, reaching out for rescue. As years passed, the investigators faced numerous heartbreaks. In 1999, Anthonette's mother, Penny, passed away. Penny took the ultimate truth of that April night to the grave. The tragic complexity of the mother's potential involvement, coupled with the lack of cooperation from those in her immediate circle, stalled the pursuit of justice. However, time and modern technology have allowed new eyes to review the evidence. Private investigators and the FBI have continued to hunt for answers in her disappearance. In recent years, tips led investigators to Texas, where a woman came forward believing she might be her. Investigators approached the potential lead with hope, exploring the possibility of DNA testing to connect the dots, though many of these leads have turned into dead ends. The renewed media attention and age progression photographs ensure that Anthonette is not forgotten. Today, Anthonette Christine Cayedito's case is classified as an endangered missing person, but law enforcement and her surviving family members have never given up hope. Anthonette's surviving sister, Sadie, has spent decades advocating for the case, keeping Anthonette's memory alive through social media campaigns, podcasts, and community gatherings. For her sisters, Anthonette remains a hero, the protective older sister who cooked and cared for them, and who deserves to finally come home.
Anthonette would be 45 years old today. So we want to reach out to her. We want to reach out to the person who may have abducted her and say, enough is enough.
Anthonette has freckles, a scar on her knee and lip. She's also known to wear a silver chain with a turquoise cross pendant.
I guess that's the hardest part, not knowing, not having that closure.
Yet, though the darkness, The resilience of the Cayedito sisters have become the driving force of the narrative. They are the ones who speak for the little girl who was taken in the dead of the night. They are the ones who continue to ask the public to look for Anthonette's photographs. They know that someone out there possesses the missing puzzle piece that will bring Anthonette home, or at the very least, provide closure to a family that has been waiting for over 40 years.